Hey everyone, Grzegorz Baran here. Someone asked me about the color of human hair for PBR materials. Since I haven't covered this subject from a color perspective yet, I decided to give it a go. The plan was to get some color samples, measure them with a color spectrometer, and share them through my PBR Color Reference List. To get samples, I purchased a hair extension color ring on Amazon. The description said it's made of natural human hair, which is exactly what I needed. Despite the bad reviews, no one complained about the hair origins, so I assumed that they were genuine human hair of different colors. After they arrived, I documented and measured the full hair color palette, from the blackest black hair to the brightest blonde. But while I did my best to make sure measurement results are as reliable and accurate as possible, I didn't fully understand values I get. The way hair responds to light always seems tricky and quite complex to me. Hair doesn't just reflect light like any other surface, instead it interacts with in its very specific way. So to make sure I got it all right and fully understand why light reflects off hair in this unique, different from most generic substances manner, I conducted some thorough hair research, and this is the video about it. So let's find out what hair is and where its color comes from. Human hair is made of thin strands of hardened protein called keratin. Hair's main purpose is to protect the human body by regulating its temperature, shielding the skin from harmful UV radiation, and acting as a barrier against environmental elements like dust and debris. Hair is composed of three main layers: hair cuticle, cortex, and medulla. Cuticle is the hardest outer layer that protects the inner layers. It determines hair smoothness and shyness. The cuticle is essentially transparent and doesn't have any color of its own. It's composed of approximately 10 sublayers of overlapping cells that resemble fish scales or roof tiles. The cuticle scales of blonde hair tend to be smoother than those of black hair because blonde hair is typically finer and has less pigment. However, this can vary based on individual hair characteristics, and not all blonde hair will have perfectly smooth cuticles. Hair treatments such as applying conditioner can smooth the cuticles and make hair shinier and smoother. The actual color of the hair is determined by the second hair layer, the cortex. The cortex layer accounts for about 70 to 90% of the hair bulk. The color comes from the type, amount, shape, and distribution of melanin granules in the cortex. There are two types of melanin: eumelanin, which gives hair black or brown color, and pheomelanin, which is associated with red and blonde hair. The denser the melanin granules, the more intense the hair color, and the coarser and stronger the hair. As we age, hair loses melanin and turns gray. Gray hair contains a very small amount of it. The third and the most central hair layer is called medulla. It is often present in thicker and coarser hair, but usually not found in fine, thin or naturally blonde hair. The medulla is transparent and colorless as it's composed of transparent cells and air spaces. Density and thickness of hair depends on the color. Generally, the darker the hair, the thicker it is. Therefore, people with black and brown hair typically have thicker strands but an overall lower density of hair. Blonde hair individuals usually have finer strands but a higher density of hairs. When it comes to hair cross-section shape, straight hair has a rounder cross-section, while curly hair is more oval-shaped. What's interesting is that humans have the same amount of hair follicles per square centimeters as chimpanzee. The average head contains over 100,000 hair follicles, and no new follicles form after birth. Hair is the second fastest growing tissue in the human body after bone marrow. On average, an adult scalp produces 35 meters of hair per day. Hair is very strong. A strand of hair is stronger than a copper wire of the same thickness. Black hair is the most common hair color globally and makes about 80% of human population, while brown makes around 11%, natural blonde just 2%, with the red color being the rarest one, which accounts to about 1% of global population. And last but not least, the natural daylight with its ultraviolet component makes hair look more vibrant, and the brighter the hair, the more responsive it is to the ultraviolet light. So the blonde hair reacts the most to the ultraviolet radiation and looks shinier outdoor in a daylight, while black hair reacts the least and look pretty the same regardless the lighting conditions. Based on all hair samples I measured, the hair color luminance ranges from sRGB 28, which is 0.1 in float respectively for the darkest jet black hair, to sRGB 186, which is over 0.7 in float for the brightest ash blonde hair. I have added all hair color measurements in their both daylight and artificial light measurement modes to my PBR Color Reference List. For those who would like to get their own copy, I will drop a link to this list in this video description. And really very big thanks to everyone who purchased it already. Every single sale matters and helps to fund the further research, especially there is still a lot left to cover. If nothing changes, I plan to cover metals next. If you found this hair research interesting and enjoy this type of content, as well as the shorter video form, and would like to see even more like this one, please leave the thumbs up, drop a comment and subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate any video shares if you think it deserves a larger audience. Thanks to all of you who did it already, as it really makes the difference and keeps this channel alive. So until next time, stay curious and keep creating. Bye!